Hello, this is Andrea and Daniel. This is just a quick synopsis of the van that we got in 2017 from the very beginning. And of course, it was a wheelchair accessible van we bought from a assisted living home. And so the first thing we had to do was remove the lift out of the back door. And then Daniel started doing the insulation. We decided to cover the windows and insulate those fully because they do not open and close anyways. The ceiling was first covered with paneling, but later we covered that with a material, thinking that that looked a little better. At the beginning, Daniel bought 2 solar panels from Harbor Freight, and that worked fine for a while, but then later on, and in fact, that was just recently, he removed those solar panels, thinking that he really didn't need those any longer. Because the walls are not straight walls, he had to construct his own cabinetry. Here he laid the linoleum. Here is a lower kitchen cabinet. Placed on the top of that is the 2-burner stove and sink unit. 2 narrow beds were created with the little hallway down the middle. These were supported with dresser drawers underneath. Then one day in the summer of 2025, we decided to make a complete change. The refrigerator was all the way in the back. We had 2 narrow beds, and the kitchen was behind the driver's seat. This is the after video. And so in this video, you will see how we put this all together. This is the entrance. And our setup with the Bluetti power source, the toilet, which will be covered as another seat, the refrigerator, the little homemade cabinet, under drawer storage, and a queen short bed. The old wall coverings were taken down. This is right down to the pink insulation and the start of putting up the pine boards. The vinyl flooring was removed during this entire process and then placed back in after being thoroughly cleaned. So this is a platform that rests on these. So the platform will rest on this just to elevate it, because you can see the heat registers here. This was a handicapped accessible van, so there's always heat out of the bottom. And so we don't want the refrigerator sitting right onto the floor.
Also, it makes it so I got something to tie the refrigerator down to the platform that to be all anchored to, so we don't want it free flowing in here.
Yeah, everything's anchored down. So here you can see the pine tongue and groove in place. So all the trim work has to be done. You can see that's just a rough cut. Then on this side, we still have the top board to do. And on the top board, we decided to run it all along the top here. So we exchanged an 8-foot for a 12-foot. I mentioned the finishing touches now, so he put this end cap onto the cabinet, but he has to fill all this in now with odd pieces of pine board. And then this is the 12-inch wide board. He's cut off one end, and this will be the headboard to the bed. The headboard, he has the edge all beveled, so that's ready. He sanded it once already, so this is ready for stain. I have to wipe it down real good. Here we are. We'll show you what's new so far since the last time. Okay, so we put the bed frame in here, but what we've done now is he's cut out this trim board right here, notched it out around that fabric. So that is on top of all the pine boards. You're finishing the back corner here. Well, see, this side, he covered that with pieces of pine. And this side, none of the pine pieces fit right, so he made a panel. And now you've got that so the headboard attaches to the wood in the back corner. Now we made sure that this storage container fits under here. And then of course putting in the refrigerator. I think the biggest part that we never showed in this video was all the work he did with wiring. You eliminated a lot of wires.
I took a lot of wires out of here. But this getting the fuse box all set up in the one pin.
So, oh yeah, let's see. So now this controls all the lights in the...
So all this here, it's a new. This is a fuse box I had, but I got it all wired properly, all the grounds there. And this turns on the either the Blue Eddy or the one house battery that I have in here. And then in the front, the Blue Eddy charger unit, and with the Blue Eddy all the way to the Blue Eddy.
Oh, that's where he put the...
Yeah, that's the charging unit for the Blue Eddy.
So that's behind the driver's seat.
That works out perfect. Everything's checked out. All works.
This is the headboard, and as you can see, he has a lot of underbed storage here. This drawer pulls out. He can put his toolbox back here and all kinds of little things. We did put the mattress in place. I was going to try to show you how we put these slats on. Now this is just an old, regular metal bed frame. I think you can see under here just a metal, and there's the how we put the slats. And then he attached the headboard to a wood piece on both sides here. You can see here. Now he's working on this table, the stand that he made, and I'll come around here because now it's literally just putting the last few things in place. View of the inside of the van with the bed. That's the platform for the refrigerator. This is his stand he made. It does have a water pump. He has an outlet right here. That outlet's connected to the Blue Eddy.
Either the Blue Eddy or 110.
That seems to fit okay.
Yeah, if I have to come over just a little bit.
He's extending the platform. Should have been a little
been an inch and a half longer. But that'll be it.
This top raises up. So he had to move the faucet over a little. That's why now there's an extra hole in the top. But okay, but we plan on having the induction burner here in the morning to heat up our water for coffee. We can, anytime we want, set a bowl under here, and this is all flexible. We're gonna set a bowl under there for when we need to wash our hands. Dishes can be done outside.
Now you can turn it outside, back and forth.
Oh, so this is situated into the wheel well. So it really doesn't take any floor space here. Above the door, we always had this shelf up here for spices, vitamins or whatever. And then there's a space there, a little heater fits in there. Right, that's our little heater.
Yeah, it's just storage right now.
Then there's room for clothes, and I I've always used that side. That's plenty of room for clothes. Get an overview here of what it looks like. Okay. I think you're thinking when this opens up and you have the chain on there,
Yeah,
then that we can use as a little tabletop from the outside.
On the outside.
Okay, and the three things on the platform. See how he extended? He needed to extend the platform for the Blue Eddy because we need some space between the toilet and the refrigerator.
Yeah, because I had to test it out. And it works out really well now.
But see how the trim work holds those things in place. I think when Daniel created this, he ran out of this material, and so then what was on this side covering the insulated window didn't match. Oh my gosh. Well, anyways, you'll have to fix that. So it didn't match, and now he because of the remodeling up front, he has more of this material, so then they'll both be the same. You have individual pieces like that?
Yeah, I gotta put them. There's one, and I think look, topping that side over there, there's like 4 different pieces.
Because it curves,
Yeah.
so that's why it can't be one whole piece. I see here, there's one piece here, then a bigger piece, and then you actually had to tape that one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do it. Yeah, we just decided that after experiencing the van, how we could use it to make it a little bit more comfortable, we put a short queen from the camper, and everything's up in the front now. Before we had everything, the refrigerator and the bathroom in the back, and then the kitchen area up in the front. Now everything's in the same area, so it's a lot easier to work with.
We brought out our induction stove now. So here's the setup for the induction stove that we will be using. It's a 1 burner. We have dish pans. Here is our little water container.
That's for a fresh water container.
With the spigot for drinking,
Just a small cabinet in here to store the water tank. Oop, yeah.
And then for hand washing and dishwashing.
And then the storage for the wash.
Storage on the bottom for the dish pans. I'm sure this will be the last time we make a change.
Could be. I don't think there's any other changes we can make.
Well, not really. After our next trip, we made another change to the cabinets. We came out in the van. Well, we actually went to the store with the van. So I wanted to just show you the very last things that Daniel did in the van since the last remodel. So here it is. After we came back from Canada, I think in taking a trip with the van, we realized what things we would like changed. And in that video, I had mentioned how we had to bring different clothing for different temperatures. And we had containers underneath the bed that didn't work that well as far as pulling out the drawers. So when he came back, he totally remade the cabinets up above. As you can see, he put lighting here and a hook. And he has shelving with a ledge so that clothes can't fall out. And I don't think we'll ever need the doors. But before, we did not have this back shelf at all. Okay, this is the ceiling fan, the lighting there, and he created that whole back shelf. So that's the one under the cabinet here?
The one under the cabinet, and then the one back by the head of the bed.
And the one back here. That's been added. And the towel bar he just brought out to the end of the cabinet. He moved the fuse box from the back of the van to the front. This is behind the driver's seat.
All this is a fuse box there's different power sources that go to the fuse box that I'm able to plug using this connector. I can plug it in via a different plug to the 12 volt section or to my jackery. It's permanent, and this is the new plug that goes into the side of the cooler when I put it all together. So everything runs through the fuse box here. So I have like 3 different options to turn that fuse box on. And instead of having a switch, every one is wired a little bit differently. But they all go through the fuse box, but they can't all be wired at the same time. Otherwise it'd be back curtains.
So you have something that is for the large blue eddy that sits here next to the toilet,
Right.
and you have some things that are for the little
New jackery we got,
jackery.
or it'll be plugged into here. So I have 3 different ways of powering this source. Right now there's no power going to it whatsoever.
Well, anything lithium has to be taken out in the winter.
Right.
If we go any place in the winter, this little jackery will power the lights to the van and the cooler for around 8 hours. So that completes the remodel job.